what is the job? Like, what are you running for?
Yeah.
What does a city council member do if you were to get elected? Like, what would be your day to day, right? Obviously, because you're running for the job. I would imagine you understand what the job is. What does a city council member do? What what do they control? What don't they control? Obviously, I feel like being city council of one of the biggest, most wealthiest cities in the world probably has its perks. So what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's more powerful.
You can
than
definitely
average.
get upgraded tickets in Turkish Airlines. Just looking at you.
All right, bet. The job of a city council member,
and how do you execute change with the role? Right?
Gotcha.
What is the job and how do you execute change?
Objection, compound question.
So the role of it is, and it's a vast role. So there's a bunch of things that coincide of it, but I would say the biggest three that I want to pull out of that hat is one is legislation, right? Like you are making a city fair and just. There's 51 city council members, right?
Okay.
So there's specific ones in each borough. They all come together to do a vote, right? Like whatever they're passing needs to be the majority vote. So one of the biggest legislations that they passed, well, some of the things I think is the biggest ones is they've got rid of brokers fees
for
in New
fair
York City,
housing,
right? So now, if you're looking for an apartment, you cannot be charged a broker's fee unless you are personally looking for a broker. Right, so there's legislation that you can have significant impact on inside the city, and that's one of the roles of a city council member.
Okay.
The second one is managing the budget. Okay. You are the one that's allocating money for specific things.
Discretionary funding. That's what we're applying for,
right?
Yes.
You get to have such a big power in how New York City spends its money.
Okay.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
That's the part that interests me the most it comes to schools. Our schools in our neighborhoods need so much more. And if you start funding the schools the right way at an early age, you have less high school dropouts. The foundation at the beginning is so important. I just wanted to include that part.
Now, we're a 501c tax exempt charity, and this is my first year of going through the process of applying for discretionary funding. And there's so many rules. I feel like that's a whole separate conversation of the process of applying for discretionary funding. But going to what you just said, I know you give discretionary as a city council member. You have a certain amount of budget to give discretionary funding to nonprofits in your district. Are you also making decisions on funding school? I guess what. I know there's discretionary funding and then there's capital funding. I guess try to break that down if you can.
So there is money that is just New York City's budget, right? So NYPD, public safety, all of those things, right? You have a very big role in managing and allocating money inside of there. So the mayor makes its proposal, city council has that power of vetoing and just checking balances and reallocating and doing all of those things, right? Then you have this secondary funding role where it's you're pumping money into your district for whatever things that is important for your district. So if it's more legal aid service, right? If it's more food access, if there's programs that people want to, or businesses or opportunities that people want to get up off the ground, right? That is stuff that you are able to do within your district, while also kind of looking at the larger scope of the city's budget. So it's both. It's a mixture of both of those things.
Word.
But then the third part of what they do is you are advocating for your district. So you are the elected person that your district says we want you to represent us at the table when you talk with this group of 51 members, right?
The Republic.
So it's you need to be so tapped into your district. You need to know that has a crack in the street and this park doesn't have rims and there's a lot of crime that's happening in this park at night, and it's all of those things that one, you have to then be able to meet with your constituents, be a open ear to everybody, get as much information engagement, bring that back to the table, and make sure that whatever you're deciding on works for your district.
So this is the interesting thing for me. where does this happen? Because there's so many different people in every district, right? And like you have older people, right? You have church people, you have younger people, right? Each of these groups, and I'm sure there's other groups I'm missing, have their own problems and issues. They also, like I guess, commune in different areas and different places, right? Older people will go to town halls. Church people, you find them in the church, right? Or the mosque or wherever, like the religious centers, or the temples or whatever. And then, you know, young people are hanging out wherever or outside or doing whatever they're doing. And they're all dealing and struggling with different issues within the community. You know, when I see like, you know, big like mayors and shit, they're always going to two of those communities, right? It's
They're
like,
Or doing the photo op when the
right,
opportunity
yeah, it's
comes.
the
They're always
right.
going where?
To two of those communities.
Oh,
Mostly.
okay.
It's the town halls and the churches, and the town halls and the churches, and then not really focus on everything else that's going on, right? How do you get the like? How do you kind of like address everybody in the community's issue? Is that possible?
And
right?
I wouldn't say it's possible. I say that it's your job of why they've elected you to make that happen. So you have to be the creative person. There's city council members that run town halls. I would say this: a successful city council member meets you where you're at.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So if it's a housing meeting, you're at that meeting. If there's a community board meeting, you're at that community board meeting. If there is anything that's happening, you have to be present. You are the person that they've elected. You are now getting tax dollars that's paying your salary. And for some who are disconnected, that's really just like, oh, I'm gonna put my head down. I'm just gonna make policy because, you know, like I feel something passionate. That's just only like a bit of the job. The actual job is being outside.
Yeah,
it's
talking to
being
people
inside of your community.
Yeah.
It's getting to know all of the issues and then having the creative solutions to fix that. So I would say like it's not impossible, but that's why they're electing you. So that way you can hear why they are upset.
And I also feel that it's important for people in the neighborhood to go to town hall meetings, to go to community board meetings, to be involved, to call and ask for what they want.
PTA
and just,
meetings,
yes,
all of those
PTA
things.
meetings, just all types of meetings, and just be involved in your neighborhood, which I started doing so much more, not just this last
I gotta put
year.
these bad boys on Netflix.
Yeah, just
Gotta make it easier. Gotta make it easier for a homie, bro.
I mean, when you're so like this is like when you're so like most of the people in our communities are so what's the word I'm looking for?
Disinterested.
No. It's not that.
Okay.
It's more aligned with. Help me guys out, right?
Disillusioned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a.
I feel like
there's
two sides of the same coin.
They're just disassociated with everything.
It's
Exactly,
just like
yeah.
you experience so much of we know you don't care. We see how we are treated. We understand the work. Like, just because you live in a certain neighborhood and it doesn't mean you're fucking blind or stupid or have a lack of comparing how you're treated or certain communities are treated versus others, right? So like, I don't blame somebody for disconnecting or for saying, fuck, am I gonna go to a community board meeting? They're not gonna listen to me. They don't care about me. You know, like I like, it's like it shouldn't, it's like, my philosophy has always been, it's the parents' person, it's the teacher's person, it's the adults, right? The quote unquote adult's responsibility to fix the issue, right? And if you are an elected official, it's your job to meet me where I'm at and come and try to get me to engage, right? Like